I'm going to hang out with Tom Cote of Watchman River Channel here today for a little bit. And the reason I like to do videos like this is just to hold these people accountable every once in a while, kind of check in with them, play some of their video clips with their routine, and, kind of keep a record. Are they correct in what they're saying? Are we going to find out in a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, the truth about what they're saying? And just kind of test what they're doing. So first thing I want to make a point about here before I start about Watchman River. This was recorded today, November 17th, 2022. And he does a video every single day. And he has come on and blatantly and clearly stated that he is doing these videos because the Lord, God of the Bible, Jesus Christ, has directed him to do these videos. Now, people throw that around a lot. Like, oh, God told me to do this. Okay, whatever. That's pretty serious when you take the name of the Lord on like that. You come to people in public and you use his name and you use the Bible and you say, God told me to do this. Now you need to listen because it's God himself speaking to you through what I'm saying. That's very serious. And that needs to be judged. We are told to judge this. And, I realize that all these people sort of take that lightly because really it's entertainment. This is not a ministry. This isn't entertainment. This is escapism. Tom is a hobbyist. He loves the Rapture. Who wouldn't? He likes to talk about it. He likes to tell you it's coming soon because you on his channel want him to tell you that because you're all telling each other that and you're telling yourselves that. So this is all for entertainment. But he does a video every single day, not because he's so humble and trying to do the right thing for God and I'll get out there and do my videos every day, no matter what it takes, I'm dedicated. No, Tom is most likely doing these videos because he's married to this woman right here. See, there's Tom. Here's his wife, Renee. All right. Renee is a YouTube channel person. She's very, very good at growing YouTube channels. She teaches other people how to do it.
We decided to play hooky today.
Yeah, we threw the kids in the closet.
See, that's Tom. All right, now this is not, it's not a scandal. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. He could be married to whoever he wants to be married to. I'm not trying to blow his cover or hers, but I am just telling you, Renee teaches people how to get subs on YouTube, and she taught her husband Tom one of the ways to do that. And there's several ways to grow your channel. She gives you kind of an overview of all of those in this video. One of the ways is you do stunts. Okay, well, they can work or they may not work, she says, and stunts can be expensive and maybe you don't have the means to do that. So she gives you another idea of how to grow a channel.
If you can't do a stunt, like he gives away millions of dollars or whatever, then you can do an orbit, which will also help you. It's kind of like the octopus effect, where if you post 365 videos in 365 days, you will have a successful YouTube channel, or you will at least have the start of a successful YouTube channel. You can't not.
Aha. Got it. That's why Tom, I guarantee you that is why Tom is doing a video every day. That's okay. I'm not even really saying he's doing anything wrong. He's trying to grow his channel. But he is not dedicated to his ministry, so he does it every day. He is doing this purposefully to market himself. Just so you know. Just so you know. So he will do this every day if he can drag himself to the camera. Let's check in with him, though.
We'll do that. We'll share some comments of the day, and we'll hang out. My name is Tom. You're watching the Watchman River channel, and as I do every single day, I will remind you that I am not a prophet. I'm not a pastor, and I don't even think I'm a great teacher. I'm just a dude that loves the Lord. I love talking about the Lord, and I love hanging out with you. So, get comfy.
No, the only thing that's remotely true about that statement is he loves hanging out with you, because Tom is not talking about the Lord hardly at all in his videos. His videos are about the rapture and how soon it's going to be, and escapism, and how soon you guys can expect to be getting off this planet and out of your troubles. It's not about the Lord. It's about getting out of your troubles. And that's what his audience wants to hear. And his little disclaimer about, I'm not a prophet, that doesn't matter, Tom. You are taking the name of God and you are claiming that he told you to tell us these things in your videos. That makes you a prophet. And if you think prophet's too strong of a word, okay, it makes you a pastor. It makes you a teacher in the name of God. You are taking his name and using it in your videos. Very serious.
Make some hot coffee or tea, maybe crack open a can of chickpeas and drink the juice, and then eat the chickpeas as a snack. I know that sounds nasty. Or grab whatever you like to eat or drink when you're hanging out with an old friend and a fellow servant of the Lord. Okay?
Just hanging
Let's
out.
get busy.
So here, let's just back up a second. He does that shtick every time. That's another marketing tactic in YouTube. You do the same shtick. Everybody knows that. But here's the thing about that. The subject matter of Tom's videos is it's the end of the world as we know it. We all know it is the end of the world. Everyone alive, there's 8 billion people on the planet today. And according to his theology, in just a matter of days or weeks or months, 2/3 of that planet, of those 8 billion people, are going to die a horrible death. They're going to go through 7 years of hell on earth, the likes of which we have never seen. Meanwhile, hundreds of millions or so of Christians will be transported to heaven, to paradise forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, in bliss and perfection, no pain, no suffering of any kind, nothing. And here is how he introduces it. Hey, come on in. Have a silly treat while you're listening to an old friend just jabber on here because I'm really a nobody. Let's make it light and comfortable. And Tom, if you really believed the bull crap you just said, that it's the end of the world, and it's coming any second, and we know this, if you actually believed that, I don't think you'd be talking like this. Let's use an example of let's try to put this in perspective. Let's say Tom works for NASA, and to keep a lid on public fear, NASA is not going to tell the public that an asteroid is heading for Earth and it's not stoppable. It is a mile wide, and it is going to hit the planet, no question, in the next 6 months. They don't know where exactly because the trajectory is all weird. I don't know. This is just, I'm making this up. But Tom knows this because Tom works for NASA, and he's gonna break rank and tell the world. 6 months from now, a mile-wide asteroid will hit the planet, and it depends on where it hits, but it could kill billions of people. It will absolutely affect everybody on the planet. Now, are you going to have the attitude this guy has sitting in his car like that, talking about food and drink and, hey, kick back and relax. I'm just going to tell you the world's going to end in 6 months. Or within 6. Have whatever you need to eat or drink. Really? Because Tom doesn't believe what he is saying. He doesn't believe it. He likes to think about it. He likes to talk about it. He knows all of his audience likes to think about it and talk about it. He knows all of his audience doesn't really believe any of it because no one talks that way who really believes what they're saying.
See, all these signs that we're seeing, I love that Jesus told us all the signs that would go on. So all we have to do is notice that we're living in a time period where they openly discuss a one-world government. We're living in a time period where there's wars and rumors of wars. Pestilences are out of control. We kind of know what happened in the last few years. We're living in a time with all these signs that Jesus talked about would be in the end.
So one of the keys to these people's, story time is this is unprecedented. We have never seen anything like this ever before in all of human history. They have to lie to you and tell you that, it's nonsense. It's nonsense to claim that right now there are more wars and rumors of wars than ever before. At the same time, there's more pestilence and earthquakes than ever before. So first of all, that's just verifiably silly and wrong and stupid to even remotely say that. Most people know about the pandemic of 1918, 1920, the flu pandemic, the Spanish flu. At the same time, World War I, other things were going on. Do you recall any of those things from elementary school, Tom? And you're going to tell me there were no earthquakes back then? By the way, do you know how many earthquakes there were worldwide 1,000 years ago? How about in the year 10? Do you know how many earthquakes were happening? How do you know we're not in a lull right now? No matter what you think about the numbers, how do you know that, Tommy? Here's another question for you, Tommy. How many earthquakes should we expect per day by the time Jesus comes back? Give me a number, just an estimate. I'm just looking for an estimate. Because you claim to say, you claim to think, you claim to know. We're at the peak of all earthquake activity for all of human history. Right now, today, this is the peak. It'll never get worse than now. That's what he's claiming. So logically, that makes no sense. You can't possibly know, and you can't possibly claim you believe this. So let's go to Luke 21, because I want to show you a different way of destroying this argument and this silliness. It's not just the logic of it. It's that Jesus actually never said what Tom claims he said. Luke 21. And as some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts, Jesus said, As for these things which you see, the days will come in the which there shall not be left one stone upon another, and that shall not be thrown down. Olivet Discourse. Compare this to Matthew 24. See, these watch liars never talk about Luke 21 or Mark 13. They only talk about Matthew 24. They don't want to talk about these other chapters. You know why? Because they destroy their argument. I'll show you. So they asked him, Master, when shall these things be, and what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? What things? The temple being destroyed. That's what he just said. He said, Take heed that you not deceive, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. And the time draws near. Go ye not therefore after them. Well, Tom's not claiming to be Christ, but he sure talks a lot about the time drawing near, doesn't he? So don't go following them, Jesus said. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, don't be terrified, for these things must first come to pass. But the end is not near. Why would Jesus say that and then Tom change it? Tom just claimed that Jesus said when there's wars and rumors of wars and all these other things, that means the end is near. But he just said it's not. Does Tom know the meaning of the word not? That's okay. Tom's not the only one. I'm not really coming against Tom per se only, because this idea is prevalent. That's why I still have to do these videos. Let's just go on here for another second, because I'll show you something else he said that no one ever talks about. Because I guess Luke 21 just doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. Then said he, Jesus, unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Great earthquakes shall be in different places. Famines and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. I don't recall any fearful sights from heaven the past couple of years, but okay, we'll leave that one off. That's okay. Watch the next verse. You ready? Before all these things up here, right? They shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues, Jewish houses of worship. These are Jews laying their hands on people, persecuting them, delivering them to synagogues, and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. Let me ask you something, Tommy boy, because you know so much and you get so whiny and belly achy and crybaby whenever somebody challenges you with, hey, Tom, what do you mean by soon? Why, that's a ridiculous question. I don't need to tell you what I mean by soon. You just need to listen to me. Tommy, when did any of this happen? When did any of that happen in verse 12? I want explicit news articles, because all of them should have happened before the present day. Can you give me a decade, roughly, of when Jews were persecuting other Jews who followed Christ, taking them before the synagogues? Oh, by the way, there's another criteria here, Mr. Pre-Tribulation Rapture Idolater. Any of you, I don't care if it's Tom or not. One of you needs to tell me what the rest of this means. It shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to resist or gainsay. Isn't that interesting? Jesus is he promises that he will miraculously assist them in their responses to their enemies who try to take them to prison. Jesus told his disciples he will miraculously protect them with the words they need before they go before the magistrate, for his name's sake. When did this happen in the last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years? Because we should have seen a giant number of Christians going before the kings in prison, being thrown into prison, but they miraculously are able to escape because Jesus gives them words to escape. And by the way, this has to be Jewish in nature because it's synagogues. Does anyone have an explanation for these verses? I want to hear it, because here's my explanation. This entire chapter is about the first century. It's about the temple being destroyed. It's a direct revelation from Jesus Christ to his disciples, and only to his disciples. And he promised them, this is going to happen. And he said, you're going to see all these things like earthquakes and wars and famines. That's not the thing to worry about, guys. That doesn't mean that the end of the old covenant age is coming to an end and the temple will be destroyed. Those are just everyday things that happen. Those are the pains of childbirth, early childbirth. They're somewhat painful, but everybody understands that. It's just, it's just pain. It's just pain, everyday pain. That's not the end. The end is not by and by when you see these everyday pains. Because before all those everyday pains, you're going to be persecuted, but I will get you out of it. Now does it make more sense? Is that possible that that's what this is all about? Just possible? Now, before you all just jump down my throat like, oh, you're a preterist. Oh, yeah, I suppose everything has happened. I suppose there's nothing left to happen. It's all just going on forever and ever till the end of time. Oh, you'll never see. No. I'm telling you what these verses in Matthew 24 and Mark 13 actually are talking about. That's all I'm saying. I'm using logic. I'm using my Holy Spirit endowed mind, because my mind has been renewed by the Holy Spirit. So I'm using my brain, but it's hopefully before the Lord. And I'm believing what Jesus actually said, not what some hysterical end times guy that wants to sell books like Tim LaHaye has said. So would love your feedback, and I'll be back with Tom for some more later on.